Oh my God, I don't think you guys are gonna believe it. The verdict is officially in. They have just read it. And remember, Diddy is being charged with 5 separate counts.
Even though he's found guilty, this is a loss for prosecutors.
The courtroom has spoken and the world is furious. Sean Diddy Combs has been found not guilty on the most serious charges, and the public is not staying silent. He was facing charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and drug-fueled abuse. But when the judge read the verdict, everyone in the courtroom was shocked. As he was found not guilty on 3 of 5 counts, victims cried and Twitter exploded because many people believe justice just packed its bags and walked out of that courtroom. But some people were happy. Diddy's family walked out of the courtroom cheering and smiling. While people were expecting him to go in for life, Diddy is looking at a maximum of 20 years as of now.
I'm not a lawyer, but the verdict is in. Here we go. Count 1, which is the racketeering conspiracy charge, not guilty. Count 2, which is trafficking Cassie, not guilty. Count 3, which is transportation to engage in institution for Cassie, guilty. Count 4, which is trafficking Jane, not guilty. And then count 5, which is transportation to engage in institution for Jane, guilty.
Diddy Combs has just been found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution, but not guilty on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Now, the biggest charge here was the RICO charge, and he's been found not guilty.
The courtroom was packed, the jury walked in, and then, one by one, the verdicts were read. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. 3 of the biggest charges, racketeering, sex trafficking, and conspiracy, were completely thrown out. The same charges that painted him as the head of a criminal empire. The same ones connected to freak-offs, abuse, and years of manipulation. Gone. Just like that, he was only found guilty on 2 lesser counts, transporting women across state lines for sex. A serious charge, yes, but nowhere close to what people expected, and nowhere close to what the victims claimed.
And they told us this morning that Diddy was seen holding a prayer with his family before the verdict. As you guys know, the trial featured nearly 7 weeks of testimony from 34 witnesses, all called by the prosecution. And when it came to the end of it, Diddy's defense didn't even call a single witness, not even Diddy. And they just claimed that the government failed to prove the case.
Because of this verdict, some people are stating that if you're rich enough, even trafficking survivors don't matter. While others are calling it an example of how fame and power can help you get away with anything.
I can tell you that Sean Combs was elated by this verdict. Even though he was found guilty on 2 counts, these are the lesser of the charges. They both carry a maximum of 10 years in prison. And as soon as this was read out, he began smiling. I saw him shaking his fist triumphantly under the table. He was putting his head in his hands, and he was making prayer hands over to the jury and thanking them over and over again. He was so relieved by this outcome.
And if you find this all shocking, wait till you hear about the demands of Diddy's lawyer. His legal team is actively pushing for his immediate release on bond to allow him to await sentencing from a private residence, most likely his Miami home. Yeah, they want him to be back home before dinner. The judge has not allowed it yet. They are still confirming it with the government. People are predicting that the judge will fold. What is even more shocking is that many people were seen celebrating the verdict outside the courtroom. Some are chanting "Free Puff," while others are pouring baby oil on themselves. Some were even seen selling t-shirts supporting Diddy.
Rico, not a Rico. You see the shirt? Rico is not a Rico. Shirts is out. I see what's going on.
Diddy's legal team is now doing everything they can to keep him out of prison. They've offered $1 million bond, full surveillance, restricted travel, and house arrest at his luxury Miami estate.
He only faces a sentence of up to 10 years. After the judge thanked the jurors, he said, "You guys can go back to the jury room. I will thank you personally. I just need to speak to the lawyers." The jury left, and Mark Agnifilo, who is Diddy's attorney, says to him, he is no longer charged with trafficking or racketeering. His plane has been chartered. It's in Maui. He does not have access to his plane. This is his first conviction, and it is a prostitution offense.
According to insiders, they're prepared to pay whatever it takes to avoid more jail time, money, security, private doctors, anything the court demands. If the judge agrees, Diddy could be released in a matter of hours, free to wait for sentencing from the comfort of his mansion, while the survivors remain trapped in the trauma they testified about.
He should be released. He continues, his family is here and could sign a bond. He should be released today to go back and live at Two-Star Island. The judge responds saying, "This is just coming up right now. I will hear from the government in a moment. Are you proposing he just walk outside right now?" Mark Agnifilo said, "Yes."
The reaction from victims and advocates has been heartbreaking. One of them reportedly broke down in court after the verdict. Others have spoken through their lawyers, calling this a betrayal of the years they spent gathering the courage to speak. For them, watching Diddy return to a mansion after what they went through feels like justice being sold to the highest bidder. Now that the verdict is out, people are starting to question more than just the jury's decision. Whispers of alleged bribery, influence, and backdoor deals are spreading like wildfire. Some believe Diddy's team didn't just defend him in court, they allegedly worked behind the scenes to control the entire narrative. From hiring top legal minds to allegedly using their connections with media, PR firms, and even powerful people in higher authorities.
What he wants is to be released now. He's been in this detention center, and his lawyer is making a plea. He says now that he's not up against this RICO charge, this trafficking charges, which were the weightier of these charges, that he should be allowed to go home with some restrictions, with a bond. They're proposing $1 million backed by a few members of his family.
One of the most talked about claims is fake support for Diddy. People are claiming that Diddy's team allegedly planted supporters outside the courtroom during key trial days. These weren't just random fans. Some of them were allegedly paid to chant, hold signs, and give interviews talking about how Diddy deserves justice.
Free Buck! 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 Free Buck!
Some claim that the goal was to allegedly shift public perception and create the illusion that people are still on his side, even as horrifying stories were being told inside. Online sleuths also pointed out alleged inconsistencies in witness treatment and how certain pieces of evidence seem to be downplayed or outright dismissed. Why? Because in a courtroom this big, some claim money and power don't just sit in the gallery. They allegedly work quietly in the background. Whether or not these allegations and theories hold any truth is not clear, but one thing is clear. Many people believe Diddy's empire didn't just protect him for years. It may have allegedly helped him walk free from the most serious charges too. And for the victims, that belief cuts deeper than the verdict ever could. Right now, some of the loudest voices in Hollywood are fuming. People like Aubrey O'Day, who spoke out from day one, Kid Cudi, who testified about how Diddy allegedly blew up his car, and even 50 Cent, who's been posting nonstop, mocking the system and warning people to watch their backs. But it's not just about anger anymore, it's about fear. Behind the scenes, several creators and insiders have allegedly said they were pressured to make pro-Diddy content while he was locked up.
Allegedly, Diddy has private investigators tracking down influencers in California.
I was visited by two private detectives today, and we're going to talk about what's going on there. Private investigators, I should say. At least that's what they owned up to being.
Some even claim they were offered money or influence to shift the public narrative in his favor. Now, after the verdict, they're scared. If this is what happened when Diddy was in custody, what happens if he walks free? What does freedom look like for a man some believe spent decades silencing people? That question is haunting more than just the victims. It's haunting everyone who dared to speak. What do you think? Are you satisfied with this verdict? Comment below, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.